Hey, it's Chris. Hey, it feels good to say that again. I know it's been a month and a half or something like that since I uploaded, but the answer to the mystery of where I've been is that I've been busy building a new brand, The Great Onboarding. And also my first ever online course underneath that brand, Crypto and Web3 for Absolute Beginners, which I'll go ahead and link up down in the description if you want to see what I've been up to. Now you might be wondering, why does a guy who loves talking about Apple and apps and tech accessories go and build a course on crypto? What in the world does that have to do with Apple? Well, a lot, actually. And I'm gonna give you a bunch of examples in just a few seconds. But just in case you don't know, let this be your wake-up call. Crypto is probably not what you thought it was or assumed it was. And also, it's a big deal already right now in 2022. So that's why I'm making this video, to let you know how you can learn about it and wrap your head around it. And we're gonna get to the best avenues that you can take to learn about it in just a second. And if you wanna skip ahead to that, then hit the chapters and move right ahead. But first, I wanna clue you into why I think you should care and why it's important. Crypto is so much more than just Bitcoin or something that you can invest in. It represents a fundamental, potentially society-altering change. And here's the thing, as members of my audience and just people on the internet that just happen to find this video, I don't want you to be caught unaware. I don't want the future to just happen to you, because the underlying technology and ideals powering the next generation of the internet, a crypto-powered internet, are night and day different from the things that we've all been used to. Potentially in some really exciting and positive ways, and maybe also in some kind of scary ways as well. But this is why you need to be aware of it. Like, just think about the internet landscape as it exists right now. You've got companies like Google, Amazon, Microsoft, and I guarantee you, they're all thinking about what comes next, and crypto is 100% on their radar. Like, take Facebook, for instance. They're taking the next era so seriously that they've rebranded from Facebook to Meta. And they're focused 100% on trying to make their version of a VR metaverse the de facto place where people go when they want to play, live, or work online. Facebook, this is the company that doesn't give a rip about anybody's privacy. Now, Facebook's plans here are very calculating. It's a shot across Apple's bow, because Facebook hopes that their Oculus headset will become the next major platform, both in terms of tech and in terms of app distribution. That means they're actively trying to uproot, to bypass, and to push aside Apple's iPhone and Apple's App Store, not to mention Android stuff, as the gatekeepers and gateways to the digital content that people want to access. And they're getting traction too. Oculus headsets actually outsold Xboxes in this most recent holiday season. Can you believe that? Now, if you didn't realize, crypto has a lot to do with the concept of a metaverse. And I can guarantee you that Apple is not gonna give up any of its cash cows without a big fight. And Mark Gurman tells us that Apple's AR and VR headset is likely to launch this year, which begs several questions. What devices is Apple developing that will act as our windows into their metaverse? Is it gonna be closed or open? And what content's gonna be inside? Also, how will Apple Pay and the Apple Card interact with crypto, or will they? PayPal, for instance, is actively exploring creating their own PayPal stablecoin. So is an Apple coin or token of some sort on the horizon? And then what is Apple gonna do about NFTs? Are they gonna embrace NFTs like Facebook/Meta says that they're going to do? Or are they going to try to take a 30% cut of NFT transactions like they've done with the App Store? Or are they just gonna try to ban or ignore NFTs and keep them outside of the walled garden as much as possible? I mean, times are changing. We have people already predicting that blockchains are gonna function as the new app stores. Some go so far to say Ethereum will be the de facto decentralized app store by 2023. So what does that mean for Apple users and for people who are used to the old way of doing things? Well, this is a good reminder to hit subscribe, because I'm gonna be going through and helping you navigate this new landscape in the coming weeks and months. And think about this, Apple has a really strong brand, just the Apple brand. And we're already seeing other brands like Nike and Adidas making huge waves in the early metaverse. Like Nike, for instance, just bought Artifact, which makes virtual sneakers, which is a metaverse play. Does that mean Apple might consider the possibility of acquiring some metaverse-focused companies in the next year or two? definitely not out of the realm of possibility. And there was an interesting book that came out a while back called Life After Google, and it predicts a great unbundling of the major Silicon Valley tech giants. And you can already see builders in the crypto space trying to unbundle some of those services, including some of Apple's services. Let's look at Apple Music real quick. People used to buy things like CDs, entire albums. Then iTunes came along and it unbundled the album, and all of a sudden people could purchase individual songs. And then Spotify and Apple Music came along and they rebundled music into an all-you-can-eat subscription model. All right, so this bundling and unbundling cycle plays out constantly over and over again within the tech industry, and it's just really easy to spot in the music industry. But look, here comes crypto and Web3, and all of a sudden you have artists who are issuing music NFTs, which do things like give their fans a piece of ownership over the master recording rights, so that all of a sudden they're earning royalties, not just the artist, but their fan base are earning royalties when that music gets streamed. So all of a sudden, in this crazy new world, you have the opportunity for creators and their audiences to raise their net worth at the same time. Their incentives begin to align, and it's not just about renting music anymore, but it's also owning some of the upside. And by the way, this isn't some far off dream. This stuff is actually happening right now. And typically, incumbents don't respond well to newcomers. For instance, Marriott didn't take too well to Airbnb, and the white pages basically got wiped out when Google came on the scene. And here's something that I've noticed. A lot of the entrepreneurs who are building in the crypto space right now are being scoffed at by the entrepreneurs who built the current generation of the internet and the apps and platforms. Isn't that kind of funny? Because those were the guys who were getting scoffed at when they were building stuff. And I think you can intuit what that means. It means we're on the verge of an important new era, and crypto has become the frontier. So that's why I've been learning about this stuff, and that's what I'm trying to tell you. Now is the time to pay attention and to educate yourself. Number one, because I don't want you to be caught unaware. I don't want the future to just happen to you. But also, number two, there's a great deal of opportunity out there waiting for you to harness it, to be aware of it, to capture it. And frankly, I'm not trying to miss out on these opportunities, and I don't want you to miss out on these opportunities either. You know I'm making content to help you guys out from time to time. 5 ways to earn 6 figures with nothing but an iPad, for instance. The feedback on that video was, thank you, Chris. I really resonate with this. All right, so I'm continuing my mission to help educate you guys and help you rise as well. And this is part of that. All right, so the crypto-powered internet, it's being built out as we speak. And here are some ways that you can start learning about it. And just an FYI, however you go about doing it, it's a big subject, just a huge topic. And I know it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but don't worry, all right? I'm here, I got your back. One thing that you can obviously do is just hit Google. And honestly, I think that's probably where most people have started. I'm sure when they hear about it, most people just Google, what is crypto? And then they learn a little bit more and they Google that, and then they Google something else, and they just kind of piece things together that way. And yeah, I mean, that is one way to do it, but it's probably not the easiest way to do it. I think the easiest way in most people's mind would just be to have somebody explain it to them. So they're like, well, okay, I'm just gonna check YouTube then. And honestly, there are some genuinely useful and helpful videos and channels out there. I would think of like Coin Bureau, for instance, or maybe Raoul Pal. But just today, I searched YouTube for Learn Crypto or Crypto for Beginners, and I actually ran into a lot of scammy content. And that's one problem for beginners. There's so much info out there and you don't have your wits about you yet. So who can you trust? You don't really know who's dealing real information and who's not. Like there's one crypto channel in particular who actually gives out some really solid information from time to time. I've learned some stuff there, but he also ends up promoting a project that he's involved in pretty frequently without disclosing that he's involved in it. How does a newcomer know that kind of stuff? There's so many landmines that they just can't avoid. So there's that. And then also most of the videos that I've seen, they're just so narrowly focused that it's like looking at the crypto landscape through a microscope and not being able to zoom out and really see the full picture, the macro. So I think one of the best ways to learn about crypto, honestly, is just to read some books. And I know that's not the answer that everyone's looking for right now, but that was probably the thing I found most helpful. So when I was getting into it, one of the first books I checked out was The Kings of Crypto. And then I also checked out The Infinite Machine. So The Kings of Crypto is kind of about the rise of Coinbase And that was just really fascinating. The Infinite Machine was about the rise of Ethereum, which was also very fascinating. And you get a lot of information that you're not going to pick up from just articles and books and podcasts. The only problem with the book approach is that, number one, it takes a lot of time. It does, probably time that's well worth it. And number two, as a beginner, how do you know which books are worth picking up and which aren't? Because I can tell you this, it seems like there's a lot of books that I've run into that really have a skewed outlook. So these are all things that I did when I was new to crypto. I mean, I Googled, I tried to watch a bunch of videos, I read, but then I took things a little bit further and I started paying for some premium resources. So I subscribed to some premium newsletters like Scott Melker's The Wolf of All Streets and also Bankless's premium newsletter and podcasts. And I even ended up paying for premium access to a Discord channel called Decrypting Crypto. And the reason I signed up for these premium things was because in my mind, it made sense to invest in knowledge before investing any of my actual money. So all of these are legit ways that you can learn about crypto, but for me, it felt like jumping out of a plane and trying to assemble the parachute on the way down. It was like a really rough journey and everything was out of order. It was just kind of chaotic. So yeah, I mean, that's exactly why I decided to spend a month and a half of my life creating a crypto course to help simplify things for beginners. So Crypto and Web3 for Absolute Beginners is the course that I wish I'd had access to when I was starting out. So it's really designed for busy people. It's a way to learn crypto fast. It's quick, but it's also comprehensive. But I think it's gonna end up being not just a time saver, but also a money saver in terms of helping people avoid costly mistakes. So I know this is an important subject to learn, and I tried to make this as convenient as possible for people. It's everything a beginner needs to know about crypto, organized into just one place and presented step by step in the proper order. But I also made sure to include some useful extras. Each section contains review notes to make sure you got a proper handle on the most important concepts. And then there's also some extra material or activities for those of you that want to dig in deeper at the end of each lesson. So it's for beginners, but if you find that you really do want to go beyond the basics, I provided some toeholds for that as well. And then one thing that's cool, I mean, this is brand new, so we'll see how it develops because I'm basically launching it today with this video. But unlike books or articles, there's a comment section. So you can interact with other people that are learning about crypto at the same time and also with me as the instructor. Beyond that, you get lifetime access and also free access to any updates that I publish. So I plan to keep this up to date as the landscape changes over time. And then also you can earn yourself a nice little certificate of completion. You can show that to your boss or your spouse or your mom or whoever. So ultimately, the course is gonna help you speak intelligently about crypto to your friends and family. It's gonna help you discover new and exciting opportunities for yourself as the crypto-powered internet builds out. And then also you'll have some peace of mind knowing that you can avoid some of the common crypto mistakes and scams. So yeah, I'm excited about this course. I'm proud of it. It was a huge undertaking. I had people writing in, asking, DMing, like, Chris, if you're okay, just upload a video. Like, where are you at? I hope you're all right. I mean, I felt like not just for my sake, but for your sake as well, it was worth taking however much time was necessary to make this as useful and as nice and as good as possible. So yeah, this is your chance, your invitation to follow in my footsteps, to join the crypto revolution and get in this exciting space. And just in case somebody's out there like, oh, come on, Chris is just trying to sell us something here. I want you to know I've made the first lesson, Cryptocurrency Basics, completely free to preview because I want anybody, whether they spend money or not, to come away with something of value here. And honestly, that's the foundational piece that will help you go out and start learning what crypto is and what it can do. So the course is linked up down in the description. I'll link up the books that I mentioned as well, because I do think that reading is going to be your other great onboarding into the cryptoverse. But keep your eyes out for some fresh content, some content that you're used to from this channel, some new content, just lots of new finds, perspectives, all that stuff that you've come to expect here and more. And I guess I'll catch you either in the course or in the next video.